Okay, here we go. Last video for now, I promise. Um, this is just a recap of all the events in the campaign, and I'm going to try and be as detailed as possible. Just be aware that some things might be a little out of order because my notes are not in order. And yeah, hopefully this is a good little refresher for everything that has been going on for the past year and a half, almost 2 years. Alright, so we left off with the Battle of the Landstrad Fields, just kind of around here, and you guys happen to be a part of it. Koios, the pirate, Atlas, the paladin, Enerth, the sorcerer, and Snurk, the ranger. And you guys just so happen to accidentally be passing through and get kidnapped by Sub-Axii marauders, and you're just smack dab in the middle of this battle. Luckily, you're able to fight your way through, causing severe damage and committing war crimes, and you start your way to Bogmire, the nearest safe town. There is something interesting though. Along the way, you find this dead guy on a horse, and he's an Oahaven soldier. He hands you a box and says, "Find a Zooth." So you take the box and you never open it for a few sessions, which is surprising on your part. Make your way into Bogmire. You meet all sorts of people, lots of awesome, nice NPCs, some not so nice. Eventually, you do get a quest from Killia Blackmarsh, the blacksmith, to go just outside of Bogmire and collect this meteor that just recently crashed. This is important. Keep this in mind. So you pick up the meteor and you take it back, and she pays you for it. She can't crack it open. She's trying to figure out what to use it for. I guess you guys will just have to wait and see what it does. But so you guys just kind of do the general thing, you're taking all these quests. You do like a mission where you take Waylon, the mayor, and you travel, you take him to Arrowmount Fort over here, and then there's all sorts of just random quests that you do. Eventually, though, the Sub-Axii marauders get a little ambitious and they decide, we're just gonna attack. They just saunter on into Bogmire, and you guys just demolish them. You do take some heavy damage, though. There were definitely some close calls, but I mean, they showed up with a giant, and you still knocked them out of the park. So good on you. There was like one civilian casualty. So rest in peace, Thorv. You were good for character development, so that's what you serve. It was a little more than character development. You see, after Thorv died, Koios goes, "Man, I don't want this to happen ever again. I want to make sure that no one dies on my watch. And I'm gonna try and bring Thor back from the dead." So he gets contacted by this extraplanar being who says, "Hey, I will help you give power. I will help you get power. I will help you bring the ones you love back to life." And so he makes a pact and becomes a warlock with this being. Little does he know, this being is Morkos, far off into space, which is pretty cool. It's all been in my head since the beginning. I've always been thinking. Eventually, though, you guys are like, this is a sandbox campaign. How about we visit these pirate islands? I'm sure it's fun. If I do remember, you meet with Captain Balearic Vance in Bogmire, and he offers you a ride. You guys just go all the way around. You hop on the islands. You do run into Captain McCracken. It's a very close call, but you do escape. Eventually, however, as you're doing all these quests, you come across a ship of undead coming from this direction. And the undead basically, you luckily intercept them, but they say, "Hey, we are on our way to Wanderhorn. We're gonna arrive there in just a few days, and there's more of us coming." And then at the same time, you guys find out that Captain McCracken is about to show up and attack the islands. So you're left with quite the predicament. Are you going to A, save the islands from Captain McCracken, or B, save Wanderhorn and potentially all of Riflehaven from an undead army? It is a very difficult decision, but eventually you guys do come to the consensus, okay, we gotta defend Wanderhorn. So you guys show up, you warn them of the attack, and there's just this massive siege. The city starts to flood as they break through the seawall, but you guys are eventually victorious, and you defeat the undead. In the aftermath of this battle, though, you guys get basically a ransom letter from Captain McCracken, and he goes, "Hey, I'm holding these entire islands hostage, including Captain Balearic Vance. Um, you should you should come get them, or I'm gonna kill them all." So you guys do. You go all the way over here, and you are pretty outnumbered, surrounded by cannons. You have no clue what to do. Um, what Atlas decides to do is just strap a bunch of kegs of gunpowder to himself and kind of kamikaze directly into Captain McCracken, and it works. He dies, and you guys just escape in the nick of time. Even though you lost a vital party member, despite all the drama that he caused in Falkirk. So maybe it's a good thing, maybe not. I guess we'll find out. You guys make it back to Wanderhan, and you meet another party member. His name is Gale, and he is from Orano City. He's an Air Genasi. He shows up, and he decides to join your adventuring party. Eventually, as you are going back to Bogmire, you meet up with, you see that there's kind of a standoff between the Order of Coulum and the Oedhaven Empire. And they're basically doing some negotiations, trying to get some sort of a peace treaty. This forest right here has slowly been disappearing from. There was a magical sword there, and then it got removed, and that was the only thing making the forest grow. And now it's gone, so the forest is going away, and so now they have to redraw. It's very complicated and dumb, but since you guys have kind of a grudge against the Order of Coulum, since they hate magic, you decide to side with the Oedhaven Empire, and you slaughter every single Order of Coulum soldier. And it gets nicknamed the Bogmire Massacre. So, good job, I guess. 1 point for the Oedhaven Empire. Around this time, though, what is important is as you went into Bogmire, you gave Mungo, the shopkeeper, who I will remind you was a court wizard of Zorgia, you gave him a book of necromancy. This book of necromancy was found in the depths of Falkirk, and you gave it to him to study. Now, the only reason that this was here is because Azuth put it there. Once again, Azuth's goal is to kind of push you guys in the right direction into figuring out that Morkos is an existential threat that needs to be defeated. So you give it to Mungo to figure out what to do with it. And he hangs on to it for a little bit, and don't really remember when you guys get that back. I'm sure it's in my notes somewhere, but we'll figure it out. After that, you guys go into Zergiot's ruins, you fight some monsters, you find some treasure. Oh yeah, you do find the perfectly preserved brain of that wizard in the ruins, and he basically is like, "Hey, I'll help you guys out. I mean, I kind of know about the Master Wand, which by now you guys have opened the box and figured out what it is." And so they're like, "Okay, sweet." And you guys get a little bit of lore. There's a few dreams and visions you guys get here and there. And I mean, that's what the whole history video was. That's where most of that comes from. Now we get into even more Falkirk drama. So after, Atlas's whole, he faked his death, he killed an innocent banker, he incited a riot, and then he revealed secret information to all the townsfolk that the undead army was potentially coming back. This is the perfect opportunity for someone to slip into power. And Caligon, the Black Dragonborn, he becomes the new mayor of Falkirk, and he's just slowly manipulating the people to do his bidding. You guys show up, and it is a little too late. He is able to commit this mega ritual, and he summons this big old black dragon. You guys are able to kill both Caligon and the black dragon. However, there is a ton of damage dealt to Falkirk. However, after all this, you guys do get the Black Dragon Stone, which is just, a little stone. You guys don't really know what it is yet, but you do take it to Dalene, the rock shop owner, and he is more than willing to give you all the lore about the Dragon Stones. You guys feel bad because Dalene is very lonely, so you just give him the preserved brain, you guys named Brian, and So now he's got someone to tell jokes to, which is, good on him. But so after this, you guys go, hey, when we were on the island, there were like a bunch of Grung slaves. And Snurk goes, yeah, I used to live here, and there was a lot of slavery. I think we should go and stop that. And so that's what you guys do. You guys just kind of move all the way up here to Amicia. However, along the way, you do get interrupted by Captain McCracken's mimic boat, which is weird because Captain McCracken is dead. This is because the boat is now being captained by Balearic Vance, and he hates you guys now. He kind of blames you for the whole, destruction of these islands. I mean, thousands of people were killed, and he's just hell-bent on getting his revenge. Typical main character fashion, though, you guys swiftly deal with him, and you make your way back over to Jazeera. There is also kind of a double quest going on here because not only is Snurk trying to, free the Grung and stop the slave trade, you guys also know from a map that you stole from Ancalagon that there's potentially another Dragonborn cultist of Tiamat somewhere on the island. And that eventually leads you to these mountains. You meet with the lizard folk, and you figure out that Vilmac, the white dragonborn, has been manipulating these lizard folk into sacrificing themselves to Tiamat. And Vilmac doesn't like that, so he turns into a dragon and just starts to lay waste to Amicia. So in kind of a desperate move, you are somehow able to gather up all the remaining lizard folk, overthrow Proximus, reunite the Grung and the lizard folk because Snurk is the riveting one now, and you're all able to band together and kill Vilmac once and for all. And then you get the White Dragonstone. That was an insane few sessions. That was pretty cool. I think once we finished with this is where I made the last video that I made in January, and it's crazy to still think that there was still so much more that happened. But yeah, the lizard folk and the Grung are kind of reunited. They're more on friendly terms, and they make a treaty. And the riveting one is the savior of the Grungle. You guys go back to Jazeera, but Archbishop Coleus is there, and he's been tracking you guys for a while. He's heard about all this stuff that happened where you killed all those soldiers. He's heard about the siege of Wanderhan. He's heard about all your adventures and all your crazy stuff that he goes, well, I kind of have to take you in. You're kind of like wanted criminals in the Holy Land. Like, I gotta fight you guys. So you guys are barely able to escape, and then you kill Coleus and throw his body into the ocean. And then you sail all the way back, and you make it back to Wanderhan, and you will never see Archbishop Coleus ever again. What is a little spooky, though, is around this whole time you start seeing in the sky this very bright, shimmering star in the sky. It takes you guys a few sessions to figure out what it is, but this is there's this there's like this giant green star in space with a bunch of asteroids orbiting around it. And on these asteroids is all these castles and just ruins from the Second World. And it is headed right here, right to Riflehaven. And this is where Morkos is. He is on his way, and you guys figure this out. Okay, so Morkos is on his way. We kind of got to figure out how to stop him. So yeah, back to some politics, I guess. Now that Jazeera doesn't really have slaves anymore because of this newfound independence and alliance and, death of Proximus, they go, okay, so we don't really have anything to give. We don't have as much to trade to the Order of Coulomb. We're just going to join them. We're just going to become a part of the Order. And that is where they are at now. They are now officially a part of the Order, which is going to be bad news for the Grung and the Lizard folk once they get some more involvement from these nasty knights and priests. But so you guys make it back to Wanderhan, and you go, hey, we should check up on Bogmire. All your favorite NPCs are in Bogmire, and before Captain McCracken killed everyone in these islands, you took your favorite NPCs and you took them here too, and they are very happy about that. Good old Melsh and Anton, they love Bogmire. But as you are heading back, random encounter. Okay, so I guess you guys are fighting some bandits and some giants. And then Koyos dies. Koyos gets killed by some measly bandits. This is unfortunate because, Koyos is kind of, you know, he's Koyos. We can't let Koyos die. It'd be like if Snurk died before he got to free the Grung. So what happens is Morkos, who is his patron, says, okay, I'm going to bring you back to life, but that means you got to do what I say. And so Koyos, he doesn't really know that Morkos is all that evil. He's got his suspicions, but he's willing to do anything to get the power to bring back Thorg. So he says, all right, bet, I'm your new vessel. So Koyos comes back, he's a skeleton. It was a very intense, dramatic moment, but he's back. And so you guys go all the way back here to Bogmire. But before you go to Bogmire, you actually stop in Falkirk because you have both the white and the black dragonstone, and you go, hey, maybe it's not such a good idea to keep them all in close proximity. Like if we have them spread out, I feel like that's a good idea. So you guys give Daleen the black dragonstone. However, there is an issue. Turns out Brian is gone. Just gone. Someone broke in to Daleen's shop and Brian is gone. What somebody wants to do with a brain, a perfectly preserved brain from a previous universe, and who would even know about it? I don't know. I wonder who it is. But so he's gone, and you guys go, well, okay, we'll find him eventually. You make it back to Bogmire. You find out that Mungo has also gone missing. Connection. But you see, oh man, Archbishop Coleus is here. I thought we killed you. And Archbishop Coleus goes, yeah, no, since I'm an Archbishop, we have 3 lives. And so they go, okay, well, are you going to arrest us? And he goes, no, I actually want to make a deal. He knows about Obsidian Island because remember, the Order of Coolum still has some of the notes from Zergialf's ruins. And so he goes, listen, I know about Obsidian Island, and I've seen the star in the sky, and I kind of know about all this undead stuff. I think if we work together, because you guys are really strong, we can figure out a way to defeat this whole undead thing. So you guys team up and you sail all the way over to Obsidian Island. By the way, I'm just realizing I completely forgot about Mina. Mina is a random dwarf NPC, little girl that you picked up here in Jazeera, and she's just kind of been tagging along. And now she's going to the most dangerous place on the planet with you, which, that's some great parenting right there. But you guys are now on Obsidian Island. It takes a long time. There's some weird time manipulation type stuff, so you're not sure. It could have been a year-long journey. It could have been a week-long journey. It is just unknowable to you. But on this island, you see all the ruins of the previous world. There's a lot of clues. There's a lot of foreshadowing. You find this giant mountain filled with crystals and these dead skeletons of dragons, and you see this massive crater where Tiamat showed up. And you go to the center of the crater, and you find Mungo and Brian. Turns out that Mungo is this guy, and since you guys gave him the Book of Necromancy, he kind of started going crazy, and it was giving him visions, and he got corrupted by Morkos. So he took Brian and used his power and his knowledge to basically create a rift in the world to open a portal between Obsidian Island and where Morkos is on his Onyx Fortress, just to, speed up the process. And he also goes, oh, sweet, and you guys also brought me the Master Wand, which Morkos really wants, so we're going to give that to Morkos. And all of you guys go, no, we're not going to do that, except for Koyos, because once again, Koyos will do anything. He is desperate. I mean, he's literally dead right now. He's going crazy. Can you imagine what, not having flesh is going to do to you? So with the help of Koyos, this portal is opened, and you guys step in, and you are now on the Onyx Fortress, and you are face to face with Morkos once more. And this is where it is revealed that Morkos is Morkos. Up until then, you guys did not know that this was Morkos, the BBEG of the previous campaign, and it was quite the lore job. And I must say, it was very well executed. It was very, very well done on my part. At least I think so. And I hope that there was a lot of good foreshadowing. I tried to hint at it throughout the whole campaign, all the stuff with previous universes, and Morkos' primary color is green. His magic is always green. I mean, it is a very stereotypical color for evil wizards, but I mean, come on. what are the chances that 2 campaigns in a row there's an evil lich villain that has green fire magic? I mean, come on. And then, of course, in the visions, you've seen that he has his 11 apprentices, which are his 7 deadly sins, and then his 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And then even on Obsidian Island, I mean, there's the giant Crystal Mountain, which is the giant of Volduger, and all those dead dragons in there. Those guys were the 4 horsemen's dragons from the previous campaign. I'm glad it wasn't too obvious. I wish there was more of a suspicion, but I'm also really glad that it really seemed like out of nowhere. So, good on me for that one. But yeah, here is Morkos. He is face to face with you guys, and he's like, alright, sweet. Thanks for the Master Wand. You guys fight to the death, and it is an intense battle, and Morkos is almost to the Master Wand. And you know, this portal is still open, but Brian telepathically communicates to you, hey, I can only hold this portal open for so long, and honestly, like, I can only take a few of you. Like, the longer I hold this open, the less of you I can bring back. And so you guys go, well, who has to stay back? There has to be someone. I mean, the obvious choice would be Coleus, right? Especially since, you know, if Coleus dies, he can always come back to life. But where would he come back to life? Would that even still work since he's no longer on the material plane? So Koios goes, no, you know what? I've made my mistakes, and it's time. I think I need to sacrifice myself. So he stays behind. You guys all are able to escape from the Onyx Fortress back onto Obsidian Island, and Koios is face to face with Morkos. Morkos is like, dude, you literally betrayed me. Come on, like, really? But Morkos is also a little happy about this because you see, in the previous campaign, Koios' previous life actually had a piece of Morkos' phylactery within him. So now that Koios is face to face with Morkos, Morkos can just take that back and get a lot more powerful. And so that's what he does. Luckily, though, before he can do that, Koios, you know, grabs his rapier and stabs it through his skull. But you guys make it back to Reichelhaven. It is rough. It's kind of traumatizing. You know, you found your friend that's kind of been with you this whole time died. Insane revelations have been made. But it was worth it. You guys got some really good XP, so I guess it's okay. You guys make it back to Wanderhan. Coleus decides, okay, let's meet back up another time. Like, we'll figure this out. Like, we kind of got some information. We'll look for more answers on how we can beat Morkos. And so him and Mina go back up here, and they just start living their life. And you guys meet Gale's cousin. Gosh, what's his name? Vale. Vale is his name. You guys meet Vale, who is a druid, and he's also an air genasi. And you guys go, okay, how about we go up to Arano City? Gale reveals, okay, I think all the ruins in Arano City are pieces of the second world, just like on Obsidian Island. This may have some clues. So you guys go up to Obsidian Island, and you meet Diomedes. Diomedes is just this old hero, and he goes, oh yeah, I think I know there's some secrets. There's, in this dungeon, if you go there, it'll give you some information. So you go into the dungeon, fight through all these monsters, you find this amulet, you bring it back to Diomedes, and he goes, okay, yeah, that was a lie. I'm actually Diomedes being controlled by Kornelak, and you just gave me the amulet containing his soul. So, you know, he reopens it, Kornelak's soul is freed, and Diomedes is like, well, shit, guys, you kind of freed the most evil beholder that even I couldn't kill. So you guy goes, oh, alright, well, guess we gotta go all the way back down. His body is in Zergoth's ruins. Here's Kornelak. He starts trying to kill you guys, and you guys actually wipe the floor with him. Turns out that using polymorph to turn into a giant ape and just, you know, grabbing that beholder by the tentacles and just slamming him against the floor repeatedly like Hulk, that's actually very, very effective. So, you know, Kornelak is pleading for his life, and he goes, okay, look, I know about the whole Master Wand thing. I know about Morkos, right? Here's the thing. I'm the only being alive right now that is strong enough and capable enough to use the Master Wand. And you guys are going to use the Master Wand to kill Morkos. But if you try and use it, it's not going to work because you guys aren't strong enough. So you guys make a deal. Okay, we will let you live, Cornelac. In return, you have to listen to what we say, and when the time comes, you have to be the one to cast the spell to get rid of Morkos. And then he goes, okay, yeah, sure, that's a very smart decision on your guys' part. I will gladly do that. And so that's what you guys do. So you guys escort Mr. Cornelac down here to Falkirk, and you're like, okay, you live here now. There's no, after the whole tragedy with, the black dragon and everything, no one lives here except for hobos. So you live here now. And Cornelac is very happy about that. It's always good to treat your beholders well. You guys figure out that there's actually a famine going on in Wanderhan. Their crops are not growing. So you go over here and investigate. Oh, and there's a tunnel underneath the crops. It's this big tunnel. What could have dug the tunnel? And it leads you all the way back to Falkirk. So you guys kind of wasted your time kind of going back and forth. But, whatever. And inside you find that there's a mind flayer who has been manipulating the crops. And he goes, okay, it wasn't me that was doing that. There's a voice inside Falkirk that was telling me what to do. Turns out this mind flayer was being manipulated by, who guessed it, the skeleton zombie version of Encalagon. He is somehow back as a zombie. So you guys kill him, and he has the Black Dragonstone. How did he get that, you ask? Well, it turns out he came back to life, and then he killed Daleen. Poor Daleen is dead now. That sucks. But you guys have the Dragonstone again now, which is good. But so this raises some questions. Why did Encalagon come back to life? Are the Tiamat cult and, Morkos and his undead army, are they working together? Is this something we need to be worried about? Like, how connected is this? Then you guys go back to Bogmire, your routine checkup, and you remember that meteor that Killia has that is supposed to just sit there and be nothing and just be a one-off little side quest. So the meteor explodes and it kills Killia and her grandmother. May she rest in peace. Emerging from this meteor is this charred black skeleton, and it tries to kill you guys. It tries to run away. You guys defeat it, and it reveals himself. He goes, "Hey, I'm Death. I'm a vessel of Morkos. I'm just a warning sign. Morkos is coming soon. Like, you guys have very little time." And you guys kill him. It is assumed that this death guy and Caligon's corpse, zombified corpse, are connected in some way. But so before Death is killed, he kind of reveals that there are others. He says that there is someone in the west that he is going towards. So you guys go, okay, so we have some different spots to go check out. So you guys know that there is a Dragonstone here. You guys know that this could possibly where Death was heading to, where he's got his other friend. You guys know that up in Amicia, there is currently a plague going on. You received that in a letter from Coleus, so that's not good. You got to go deal with that. And you also know that there is another Dragonstone on these islands right here. So you guys come up with a plan. Okay, we're gonna go get this Dragonstone. We're gonna go see what's going on up here. We're gonna stop the plague. We're gonna get this Dragonstone, and then we'll come back and we'll figure things out, and hopefully we figure everything out before Morkos shows up, because he is arriving soon. But so you guys have already kind of started on this quest. You go up and you go into the Hearthar Desert, and you meet Eladio, and he's actually a really chill cultist. He's like, yeah, I'll just kind of give you the Dragonstone. You can just have it. Tiamat's going to show up eventually anyway. Like, I don't really need to work for it, which, is fair. What he does do is he kind of uses some of his power that he was given by Tiamat to show you visions of the past. And you guys are able to talk to Morkos through these weird dreamlike visions. And Morkos kind of has some weird hints here. He's basically saying, you cannot kill me. I am literally unkillable. He is saying that he is literally woven into the fabric of reality himself. Morkos cannot die by any means, not even the godlike might of Tiamat. The one thing that can destroy literally anything could not destroy Morkos. Whether this is a bluff, maybe he's hiding something, maybe there's something more to it, but it is very concerning. Morkos, it could just be typical villain gloating, but I don't know. Sounds like he can't die. But so now, just to recap, you guys have the Master Wand, you have the Book of Necromancy, the white, black, and blue Dragonstone, and now you guys have just left Eladio, and you guys are going to be on your way up to Silmarkador, the nearest port town. Sail to these islands and figure out what's going on up here. Stop the plague, get this Dragonstone, deal with anything else that shows up, right? That is where you guys are at right now. Hopefully, if you're watching this and you're to the end of this, this is all before tomorrow's session. I know it's very last minute. I kind of feel bad that I'm giving you guys all this homework right before, but it is important, and we got nothing better to do. So there you have it. That is the full campaign recap. I probably missed some important stuff. I really was touching on the important stuff. I don't feel like I had to, go into the backstory of Melsh and, anything like that. But, I mean, if you guys want a lore video about just like random NPCs, I'd be willing to make that too. That does sound fun. Okay, there's your homework. Make sure all your XP is good. Make sure you know what all your spells, your abilities do. Make sure you know you have all your magic items. You know what they do. Just refresh yourself on your character right now. I know you're not going to do it because we're going to show up and I'm going to say roll initiative and it's going to take an extra hour because you guys are going to be finishing stuff off. So do your homework, okay? Please do. Do it right now.